elaborate a little bit. So then that first I shall explain the background, then what are the SDG goals and how does this impact the soil erosion and the soil pollution and land degradation and soil erosion problems, especially in Bangladesh, because in the title there is in Bangladesh. Also the soil contamination problem in Bangladesh, maybe in also in other countries, similar problems. Climate smart materials and ecological revetment can be used for solving the issues related to the soil erosion and soil pollution. And the focus of today's presentation is the application of Vetiver-based bioengineering system in Bangladesh and the establishment of Vetiver Demonstration Center in Chottogram by Chaipadara Foundation of Thailand, and phytoremediation, finally summary and way forward. Okay, first, I have been taken it from the sources here from the FAO. So you can see that directly or indirectly, all the SDGs actually are affected by soil. So that's why soil quality and soil management is one of the most important issue in our life. So from this diagram, you can see that there are so many SDGs which are directly affected by this soil quality, and also some others are indirectly affected by soil qualities. So you can see that. So these are actually how the soil pollution can affect the SDGs. So other than two SDGs, these 4 and 9, most of the SDGs are actually affected by soil, the soil. For example, the number 1 is the soil pollution, reduce the income for rural people. And also, for example, we can talk about the number 10, soil pollution disproportionately affects people, etc. So that's why the soil pollution is soil management and soil quality control, or in other way, if we can reduce the soil pollutions, then it will help us to achieve the SDGs, definitely. Then, as I stated before, so what are the actually key issues for the soil management? We can say that for the land degradation, what is the present state? I shall explain. And related to the soil erosion, present state and the research and development related to this. And what are the applications we have been done for the last few years in road embankment, flood embankment, coastal embankment, shoreline protection. And for soil pollution, we did a small research using Vetiver Grass, but there is a lot of scope for this extension. And actually for the proper management of the, soil issues, soil quality, there should be soil governance and policy. Is my voice is okay and clear? Honorable moderator?
I think your voice is clear, yes.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay. First, I shall talk about the land degradation problems in correlation to Bangladesh. So actually, I would not like to define from the photograph. You can see that the land degradation is a huge problem which can affect actually more than 700 million people globally. So that's why this is a big concern for all of the scientists. In context of Bangladesh also, you can see that the only 15 decimals per person we have land in Bangladesh. Very small land, the population density is very high, and the population density is about 1200 per square kilometer. And there are many causes for the land deforestation and urbanization. So we have to focus on this to minimize the land degradation in Bangladesh, also maybe in a country too. At first, I will explain the erosion. From this photograph, you can see that what erosion can affect our embankments, our hill slopes, and also the land. There are many reasons actually for the soil erosion. As I mentioned before, the main impact of the soil erosion and the main reasons behind in Bangladesh are the climate effect and also the vegetation cover. So these also affect indirectly or directly in environmental impacts and also the economic impacts. So that's why for the sustainable development, definitely to protect the soil and the soil erosion control is a big issue in our country. So before going to the main presentation, I can state that you can see from this map that the Bangladesh is a delta, and also there are some other deltas in must be very careful. It will be responsible for the climate impact minimum. So that's why the nature-based solutions, the recent developments are also to reduce the climate change impact. So these are the photographs taken from different parts of the country, Bangladesh. From the first photograph, you can see that this is the riverbank of Brahmaputra. So from photograph, you can easily see that the soils of Bangladesh are the riverbanks are mostly alluvial soil, and these are highly erodible soil, and the riverbanks migration and also the agriculture, everything is significantly. The next photograph is a hill slope photograph. It's a very nice photograph. So from this, you can see that if it is covered properly and there is vegetation and imrest and trees, so the hill slopes are well protected. But unfortunately, as the population is very high, people has to live in the foothills. And also there are many human activities like deforestations, cutting, etc. These hills also become vulnerable to the erosion and landslide. Actually, in Bangladesh, which occupies roughly 70% of the Bengal Delta, a large portion and of the population lives at the near sea level. And here, please note that the Bangladesh is a lowland, and the average, I mean, the height of Bangladesh is only 7.5 meters of the mean sea level. So this is very is a crucial issue for Bangladesh. And the last photograph, you can see that from this, there is the shrimp ponds dikes in coastal zone. In the coastal zone, due to the salinity intrusion, it's very difficult actually to grow grasses for the protection of the embankments. And even for the dikes of the shrimps, as you know, in Bangladesh, the southern part, the shrimp production is very significant. So actually, there are many other details. Maybe in this short time, it will not be possible for me to explain in so elaborately. And the last photograph, you can see that this is a Haur village during rainy season. So every village become an independent island. So the living in the Haur villages is a big challenge for the people there, and they become actually isolated from the mainland. So they have only one means of communication, that is by waterway. And unfortunately, due to the huge wave action and flooding, their villages becomes, destroyed every season. So that's the protection of the Haur villages is also a big challenge in our country, especially in the northeastern part of this country. So from this photograph, you can see the first. I already showed you this photograph. This is the bank of the rivers. So unfortunately, this due to the pattern of the soil and geography, so the river shifts frequently. That's why people has to actually leave from one place to another place. It's a common issue. And this is a satellite image. From this, you can see that is how this rivers meanders and shifts. With the time. This is an example, very unfortunate example. For example, this lady in the photograph showing that she, in her national ID card, her address was in this location where she is standing. But unfortunately, after a few years, she has lost her home and also lost her address. So this is a common issue in Bangladesh. So the people who lives in the shore and also in the small islands and also in the riverbank, they has to shift their, houses and homes several times in their life. So, but in contrast, the water government agencies like Water Board and LGD, they're trying hard for protecting them from the protection of from the erosion of river erosion and also other natural disasters. But it's very difficult and very challenging, and also economically it is very tough to protect all the conditions. So these are also some photographs from different parts of the country. You can see that there is a flood embankment in the first photograph, which is very close to the river, but there is no protection. Like even there is no vegetation also. So that's how can we think that this will be survived. So the next photograph in the top right, you can see this is a coastal embankment. It is already eroded due to wave action. And also there is no vegetation, plantation, or also there is nothing protection. So it is very vulnerable. But also you can see the soil is also itself very, erosive. And in the bottom line, from the left photograph, you can see that there is a new rail line constructed over, embankment. And so the train line has not yet inaugurated, but in the first season, this soil has been eroded because of the very special nature of the soil, which is called dispersiveness. So what I want to mean actually, so that due to the erodibility of the soils and the heavy rainfall and the flood action and wave action, etc., these embankments and the protections becomes eroded due to the high erosion of the soils. And the last photograph also shows a newly constructed coastal embankment near Sundarban in the mangrove island in the southern part of the country. You can see that this embankment has also washed away in the first season, actually. So these are the actually common photographs every year during the rainy season. The failure of riverbank, you can see that huge riverbank and the constructed water board has been damaged. And also that causes the washing away of many households and etc. And the next photograph, you can see that just this riverbank protection has been constructed, and this was, damaged before the monsoon in the first season actually. So these are actually common stories. So these are very costly structures and very expensive infrastructure. But the question is why this doesn't work. So there may be many questions and many answers, but the things can be concluded that even these are very expensive and costly methods. So sometimes this doesn't work properly. I can show you thousands of photographs. These are also some of the photographs. You can see that, as I mentioned, that for the Haur village, the LGD has constructed the infrastructure very expensive. So, but unfortunately, these were broken in the first season, although they used concrete blocks and also the concrete two walls. So I'm not telling that these are not effective, but sometimes this doesn't work due to many reasons. So now we have to actually understand why this happens. So actually after 2016 flood, I visited many infrastructures constructed by LGD and during the flood season. Then we tried to find, the alternative solution. So this is, I'm not going to explain it very widely as a technical matter, but we found that if we can build some combined method using bio-nailing, using the vetiver grass and also the concrete block, that may be effective for protecting the Haur villages in the huge wave action areas. So from all this actually, from these photographs, I can see that actually what we need we need cost-effective solution, which are sustainable, energy efficient, and should be environment friendly. So these should be the keywords for the solutions of the soil protection, environment protection, and the reduction of the soil erosion in my country. So in the nature, actually, there are many solutions. For example, in Bangladesh, we can find many grasses and many shrubs and many trees and many plants. Among them, two are very important. One is kashful, which is locally called the kashful, and this is kash grass, and also another one is binna ghash, which is locally called binna ghash, but the English name is vetiver grass, and the scientific name is Vetiver Grass. And recently, these are classified as chrysophobian zizanites. So before going, so as you know, in the recently the ecological revetment using grasses and plants for the protection of the embankment, flood embankment, the coastal embankment, etc., has become very popular because these are cost effective and also these are climate friendly, environment friendly, and also reduces the carbon footprint. So that's why the ecological revetment could be an alternative solution for the protection of the infrastructures and the reduction of erosions. So then why vetiver grass? From the first diagram, you can see that like other grasses, vetiver grass has two parts. One is the shoot, another is the root part. And fortunately, these roots and shoot part has many uses. And there are many handicrafts being made in many countries like Thailand, in Vietnam, in China, in Bangladesh also there are some uses. So if you can plant vetiver grass for the protection of these slopes, vetiver grass can be used for many other industrial purposes also. So this is actually a perennial grass. So this is an ecological revetment, ecological, and also it can survive in -14 to 50 centigrade. These are flood and drought tolerant. Also, the interesting thing is that this can grow in the soil that these roots are very strong, and it is root system is 700 meters. You can see that this vetiver grass has a huge root system, which if you can grow properly in the soil, so definitely it will be effective for protecting the slope. And also it has many other features which are effective for the soil and slope protection. So the His Excellency, the King of Thailand, you can see that he himself promoted the use of, the use of vetiver grass in Thailand and all over the world. We have great respect and honor for him, and especially for this soil day. So we should remember that he himself promoted the use of vetiver grass for the protection of slope and the land protection and also the erosion control. I have great respect and deep respect for this. His how can I say encouragement for this use of vetiver grass all over the world. Also in Japan, you can see that the grasses are being used, and the young students are being learned for vetiver grass. And also in Hong Kong and Brazil, many parts of the country world, they are using vetiver grass for the slope protection and many other purposes. And also in many parts of the world, like for canal bank protection and breeze approaches, and also hill slope in urban areas, there can be many examples for the protections of the slopes using vetiver grass. And also it is interestingly, as you know, so like other grasses, vetiver grass helps in the effect of carbon sequestration. So there is a study in Thailand. So they compared the use of vetiver grass and the control section, and they showed that if we use vetiver grass for the slope protection, that will reduce the carbon emission to the environment. So from all these respects, so vetiver and useful for the protection of slopes in climate resilient locality. As I mentioned, from these photographs, you can see that vetiver grass has many uses. The top part, the shoot part, can be used for, as you can see from the photographs, for manufacturing many items, and also from the root there are many things, and also there are many herbal drinks which are made of vetiver grass. Even the mask, which are very healthy, are made of vetiver grass. And many perfume industries all over the world, all the special brands, they use vetiver root for the production of, the perfumes. So what I mean that it doesn't have only the mean for the slope protection, but also it can be used commercially for many purposes, and the industries can be grown, and the local industries can be grown for the enhancement of the local economy. And also in many African countries, they use vetiver grass in the cropland for indirect irrigation of the land. So, and also for air purification, and also for the water quality improvement. That is, if the water is polluted, for removing the heavy metals and other things, this vetiver grass is being used successfully in many countries in the world, including Asia, Australia, and also in many other parts of the world. So now I'll give you a brief on research that has been conducted from the since the last more than in 2007. So it is more than 13 years or 14 years. I'm doing research with vetiver grass for the protection of the slope in Bangladesh. So the first question was that whether vetiver grass is available in Bangladesh. There is a study by a World Bank that vetiver grass is available in Bangladesh. From the map, you can see that in many parts there are the availability of grass is very huge, and some parts of the country there is low, especially in the saline part. But you can conclude that the vetiver grass is available all over the country in Bangladesh. It can grow in sandy soil. It can grow in clay soil. So that is important. To grow vetiver grass, anywhere in this country. And also you can see this is already in practice by the local people, but they don't know the actually technical things. And that's why we have to do a lot of research and to teach the government organizations and the local people for the proper use of vetiver grass in slope protection. So actually we did start research, and first I looked into that whether this vetiver grass can grow in sandy soil without addition of any fertilizer or the nutrient. Because in my country, in the most of the embankments are constructed of sandy soil. So, and the sandy soils are highly erodible. So from this research, I mean, within very short time, 3 months time, we could conclude that vetiver grass can grow very easily and the root system is very strong in the sandy soil. So that gave me the confidence that we can go with the vetiver grass application for the slope protection and infrastructure development. So we did a lot of piloting, and also we had many success and failure stories in Bangladesh. And the first application I did in the flood zone in the Karaganj near Dhaka for the protection of breeze approach of a roads and highways department road. So from this comparison, you can see that one side of the road was protected using used brick wall, and the other side was protected using vetiver grass. From the comparison, you can see that both the construction of brick wall and the vetiver grass plantation was effective, but there was subsidence in front of the brick wall, and it is in terms of cost, the vetiver grass plantation was only 5 to 10% of the total cost of the brick wall construction. So then it gave the confidence to the roads and highway department that using vetiver grass, we can protect the embankment very easily. But as you can see from the photograph that, so it was not maintained properly. So there are some other grasses and trees grown, but the slope was protected, I mean, very, very effectively. So one thing is you should note from here that for such construction and for such protection, we have to do the maintenance properly for getting the best result. So there are many, many examples, and also, we are constructing a very big mega project. The Padda Bridge has already opened, and for Padda Bridge, we have rail link project. For the rail link project, we also piloted the use of vetiver grass in this zone, as is marked in the GPS location. So from this photographs, you can see that just after 6 weeks, the vetiver grass grown very nicely on the slope of the embankment. These embankments are very high, 5 to 8 meter high embankment, because this rail embankment also runs through the flood zone. So in that also they get the confidence that this grass can be used for the protection of the slope or the cladding layer of the embankment in flood zone also. Many other examples. This I have been taken from the Chilmari Kurigram, which is the northern part of the country near the river. This is a Chor area. So just recently we have did it in this year. Within 3 months, the vetiver grass has grown nicely, and it was effective to protect the flood embankment from the recent, I mean, in the rainy season. And this is more interesting. So just after the plantation, that is also in Rajipur Kurigram area, the embankment was flooded. It was flooded, and the whole, I mean, plantation works went underwater, and it was in submerged condition for more than 2 to 3 weeks. And after the water receded and the flood water went, the grass has grown again nicely, and it was effective for protecting the slope. So from this we can conclude that vetiver grass is very effective and is very resilient, and it can grow even in the after submerged condition also. That gave another confidence. And I'm glad to share with you that recently ADB has adopted this technology for the protections of 2 roads. These are in Prabang, and another is in the Kandal province of Cambodia. So I was the consultant for designing the nature-based bioengineering system for the 2 roads, and ADB has already is going to apply this method in Cambodia also. So these are, I mean, good indicators that we can use the vetiver grass for globally in many parts of the world for the protection of the slopes and erosion. And also we tried for the application of vetiver grass in the coastal zone. You can see that in the coastal zone we have very high salinity, and first we tested whether this vetiver grass can grow in the saline soil. So then artificially we made saline soil, and we tried that and found that vetiver can grow effectively in the saline soil. And then we also did some piloting in the coastal zone, and we found that this can grow and protect the slopes in the saline zones also of the Bangladesh. And then finally, IFAD has United Nations Agency, IFAD, has funded a project for piloting vetiver grass implementation in 12 coastal districts of Bangladesh. And from the photographs, you can see that we implemented this in the 12 coastal districts of LGD roads, and many where we could find that this vetiver grass can grow very well and are very effective for the protections of the embankments. But as I mentioned before, we need proper maintenance, which is a big challenge. I mean, for the to get the best benefit of the vetiver grass use. And also, this is another location that is in the Shondip channel. Near the Shondip, you can see that, and this is near the sea and on the channel. So we implemented this vetiver grass for the part embankment protection, where the salinity, there was salinity also, and also tidal action and cyclone is a common, disasters there. With Bangladesh Army Engineers Construction Brigade, we did this piloting in that year, and also it was successful. Also, in the Dakop Khulna, there is again in the saline zone. This also I did in this year, and from this photograph we can see that the growth of vetiver grass is nice, and it worked very nicely for the protection of the flood embankment. And the local people are motivated, and they are using this technology in their roads and embankments, and also in their homestays. And from this also you can see that there are many chores actually in Bangladesh. And from the aerial photographs, you can see that these chores are so vulnerable for due to the natural disasters. But as I mentioned before, that due to the high population density in Bangladesh, people have to live in the chores. So this is very unfortunate. So that's why the chore protection and the chore land protection is a big issue. From the first diagram, the percentage versus chore age, you can see that most of the chores, that means more than about 60% chores actually persist only 1 to 6 years, and the rest can survive more than 12 years only. So that's why the protection of chores from erosion and raising the chores through suitable bioengineering measures using, the natural solutions can be a good alternative for the people. So the next diagram, which I have, schematic diagram, shows the actually the basic mechanism and philosophy, how vetiver grass can be effective for the protection of the chore land and chore banks in many parts of the country. So we also have funded, applied and piloted chore protection funded by UNDP in many different locations of the country. This is an example of Ostamir chore that is also in Tilmari Kurigram. So from this, I can see that we tried to use vetiver grass for the village protection of this Ostamir chore, and we found that this is very effective to protect the chores using the vetiver grass. And also another piloting was done in Nunkhawa, Nageshwari, Kurigram. That is also in the river bank. You can see there is a village in this location. So from this photograph, you can see that this is the before condition and this is the after condition. And here it was very significant that during the northwestern flood in 2017, there are many infrastructures constructed by concrete and also other other huge structures were damaged. And fortunately, our protection using vetiver grass worked very nicely, and it was survived during the flood action also. So this is a very good findings of this application during the floods. And also, as I mentioned about the Howard, you can see that Howard in the two seasons had completely two different contexts. During the dry season, it becomes like the lab photographs, and during the monsoon and flood rainy season, it becomes like this flooded. So that's why the government agencies, they are generally construct this type of concrete structures for the protection of the villages, but these are very costly and sometimes doesn't work, as I mentioned before. And we did simple test so that, as I also mentioned before, this vetiver grass can survive underwater. So we just constructed some, models, very simple models using hard soil, and we grew vetiver grasses in the models. And after that, these were submerged for different time, like 2 weeks to 8 weeks, and we found that the vetiver grass can survive underwater easily. So from this video, you can see that So from this experimental study and the field performance, we could found that vetiver grass can survive very easily underwater in the How regions. So then we concluded that so this can be used for the protection of the infrastructure in the How regions of Bangladesh. These are some examples in the shallow Haor and mid Haor. Shallow means depth is low, and the mid depth Haor means the depth is higher in the Haor region, and also in also the mid depth Haor. So there are many examples where we could the vetiver grass survived and also gave good results, and also there are many failures also. From those we could determine some effectiveness of the vetiver grass. So this photograph is very interesting actually. In the Haor areas, their villages are damaged continuously, but by seeing the good results of vetiver grass applications, the local people, they have learned themselves from the LGD applications, and they adopted this technology to protect their village mounds in Haor areas. These are some other examples. And also for the application in the hill slope, we did many model tests using the soils from the hills, and we found that by about 94 to 97% soil erosion can be reduced by using vetiver grass. So we have published these results in the journals. For example, this is in publications in International Journal of Sediment Research recently in 2022. Also, we have piloted this application in Chattogram, actually in the Chittagong city. In the Chittagong city, as you know, many of you know that the is a flooding during the city area during flood is a huge problem. So this actually happens due to the canals and the lakes becomes full of sediments. So actually this is a big story. So I'm just in short, what I can say that we found that vetiver grass application is useful for reducing the erosion of the slopes, and that indirectly useful for the protection of the city area. And also actually we, there are more than 1 million refugees entered Bangladesh from Myanmar, and they actually are staying in these hills. You can see, so that one of the big issue was that because the shelters were made after hill cutting, and this is in the high rainfall zone, so it was a big challenge for IOM how to protect these slopes actually from the rain cut erosion and also the probable landslide. So then it becomes also the headlines in the newspaper also. And I actually volunteered the vetiver grass technology with IOM and other NGOs. And in many of the hill slopes, they planted vetiver grass initially, and it gave good results for the protections of the hill slope even in the refugee camps. And also it becomes the news topics that vetiver grass is effective to protect the 5 lakhs people in the Rohingya refugee camps. So these are some photographs. Not only vetiver grass and other grasses, and also some local technologies they used for the protections of the hills from the rain cut erosions and also the possible potential landslides. So now I'm very glad to share with you that the Thai government and the Thai embassy in Bangladesh, they have cooperated us to establish a vetiver demonstration center in Chattogram, Bangladesh. So we had important talks with the high officials of Bangladesh government and also the excellencies and the Thai embassy, and that gave the conclusion of the establishment of this vetiver center in Bangladesh. And we are fortunate that during the visit of Her Excellency, Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachokri of Thailand in 2018, she visited and inaugurated the Vetiver Demonstration Center in Bangladesh. This gave us big confidence and inspiration and encouragement to use vetiver grass in Bangladesh more and more. So also not only me, so they also gave a lot of motivation for many other agencies in Bangladesh. We are very grateful. Personally, I'm very grateful to the Honorable Royal Highness Princess for her motivation for the use of vetiver grass in the Bangladesh. And also, we have constant communications with this Royal Thai Embassy in Bangladesh. Visited BUET model study sites in 2020, just before the COVID. And also she inspired our students to do more research and also extended her, collaboration so that we can use vetiver grass in Bangladesh. And interestingly, you can see that vetiver grass was planted in the compound of the Thai embassy in Bangladesh. So this is a great motivation and influence for the use of vetiver grass in Bangladesh. We are very grateful for the Thai government, to the Thai government. And also from this photograph, so how much time do I have? Maybe I'll take 2-3 minutes more. Is it okay?
Yes, please. You still have 45 minutes, including
really?
question and answer. Yes.
Okay, so but I was thought that my presentation, okay, so I'll go slow. Anyway, so actually the soil pollution is also a big issue in Bangladesh. You can see that from this map in the right, you can see that a significant part of the country is affected by the soil salinity, and also the heavy metals and salinity are big problems in Bangladesh. Heavy metals like arsenic, cadmium, chromium, mercury, lead, copper, zinc. So many actually heavy metals are affected the soil. These are actually from industrial waste, and also the salinity actually basically from the input from the soil water. And actually, as you know, due to this salinity and heavy metal, finally it comes to the food chain in many process for the animal and the human being. That's why these are necessary to reduce the soil pollution, not only for the improve the soil quality, but also the well-being of the human life, etc. So we know a technology which is called phytoremediation. And for the phytoremediation, there are 5 techniques, which are phytoextractions, phytoregulation, etc. So vetiver grass is effective for reducing the heavy metals and also using phytoextraction method. So in phytoextraction method, vetiver grass takes the heavy metals from the soil, and it actually keeps the heavy metals in their body. And we did some small studies using vetiver grass. The first 2 photographs, you can see that we have collected contaminated Buriganga soil and then planted vetiver grass, and we found that vetiver grass is effective in reducing the heavy metals. And we have, published this in many conferences and journals. And from this comparison of diagram, you can see that of the photographs, the vetiver grass can grow in contaminated soil. Definitely the growth is better in garden soil, but it can grow in the contaminated soil. It is effective also in removing the heavy metals. And we concluded that vetiver grass can be used to remove heavy metals from contaminated soil, and its uptake efficiency can be increased by using some agents. But however, the conclusion is that vetiver grass can be used for heavy metals reduction. And also we have did this research on arsenic soil. You can see that we have collected in Bangladesh, the huge part of the country was arsenic affected, especially the water. And then it came to the rice field, and ultimately it came to the food chain. So the reduction of arsenic is a big issue, big concern for this country. We found that in a small study, not very detailed, we have collected arsenic contaminated soil from Munshigons, and we found that vetiver grass is effective in reducing the arsenic contamination of the soil. And also in many countries, this vetiver grass is being used as wetland technology for improving the water quality and reducing the heavy metals and other contaminations in the water. In many countries in the world, this technology is being used. So this can be used to improve the water quality in our lakes and the rivers and anywhere. And very interestingly, vetiver grasses also has significant benefit for the agricultural field also. This is an example from the China. They use vetiver grass actually to control rice system borer in China. They use the farmers. in China they use it. The interesting thing is that Bangladesh rice is also affected by these two insects, but mostly by yellow stem borers. And yellow stem borer prefers vetiver grass than to rice. So what happens actually? They plant vetiver grass in some row near the rice field. So then when this borer is growing, so they prefer vetiver grass than rice. And when they eat the vetiver grass, they are kill themselves. So these are the techniques that are being used for the pest control. And actually, for the soil management, we should have land conservation policy in Bangladesh. There are laws for land acquisition, but no concrete policy is currently in use for the conservation of land in Bangladesh. A draft Bangladesh National Conservation Study was prepared in 1991 and submitted for the approval in early 1992, but this is yet to thus final approval is not yet received. However, as of 2019, as per I know, a cabinet committee has been formed for the final approval of the conservation strategy. So I'm very glad to share with this. So I was fortunate enough to disseminate the research on vetiver grass with many government and non-government agencies, and also with many school students, and also in many universities. From these photographs, I gave lectures, continuously to many universities to encourage the young generation to use such nature-based solutions, even in the schools, and also the government agencies like the local government engineering department, roads and highways department, water board, etc., for introducing this vetiver grass technology and to motivate them and to motivate the use vetiver grass for infrastructure development. I'm also very glad to let you know that this is being now researched in US also in some universities with for this use of vetiver grass. And sometimes actually this has become in many newspapers, even in this country, and also like BBC, and also in Assam in India. So that vetiver grass has significant impact for the use of protection of infrastructure and many other industrial uses. Many organizations like these I have mentioned here, they have recognized the use of vetiver grass. I'm very grateful to them, and so for their recognition and encouragement and continuous support. And so these are just some, photographs that which gave me give confidence that for this vetiver grass research, I received several awards, starting from 2011 from different countries all over the world. And also, I'm very glad to share with you that I received the King of Thailand Vetiver Awards in 2015. So actually, I'm sharing this with you to give you the confidence that this nature-based solution is very significant and very useful for the use in many parts of the infrastructures. So this photograph shows that I am receiving the award from Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakuri in 2015 in Da Nang, Vietnam. And also I received the Vetiver Grass Award from the Vetiver Network International in 2015, which is from USA, and so many others. And also I received in 2019, 2022, 2020, and the Research Excellence Award, which is a very prestigious award from Bangladesh University of Engineering Technology from some alumni associations. And finally, actually, I want to summarize in my presentation. Land degradation is a global challenge that affects everyone through food insecurity, higher food prices, climate change, environmental hazards, and the loss of biodiversity and ecosystem services. In our country, land is one of the most valuable natural resources. The functional capabilities of soil deteriorate from activities related to agriculture, forestry, and industry. Natural events such as cyclones and floods, unplanned land use, and intrusion of saline water. Boosting crop production has been confronted by many soil-related problems like depletion of organic matter, nutrient deficiency, soil salinity, soil acidity, topsoil erosion, degradation of physical properties, low water holding capacity, drainage impedance, and waterlogging prevailing in many parts of the country, which hampers crop productions in Bangladesh. To fight this problem, at first the cause of land degradation and its extent needs to be studied, and then appropriate technologies need to be adopted to maintain sustainable agricultural practices for ensuring food security. Vetiver, being readily available near different water bodies in Bangladesh, can be used as a cost-effective and sustainable and environment-friendly solution for soil erosion and pollution control and moisture retainer. There has been plenty of research and development and piloting to evaluate vetiver grass for the protection of embankments, village mounds, hill slopes, etc. in house, shore, and land, coastal and hill areas. The construction cost is very low of this method, and regular maintenance is, but however, the regular maintenance is required for this technique. Limited research has been done to assess the effectiveness in the removal of heavy metals. However, more research are required. Other than technical use, vetiver grass can be used in different commercial and social purposes, such as SMEs, medicine, fodder, herbal drinks, etc. This environment-friendly, energy-efficient process contributes in low carbon emissions as well. And at the end of the process, the used vetiver can also be used for biogas production. To ensure proper land conservation and sediment control, laws and policies need to be adopted and enforced. So finally, it can be concluded that the vetiver-based technologies can help to achieve several SDGs and for the sustainable development. So for the way forward, for the economic growth and financing, economic empowerment is possible through SMEs, small industries, by setting vetiver nursery and producing vetiver products. And also, it already been established in some parts of the country, and the local people are producing vetiver nursery and selling it to the government agencies and other NGOs. Vetiver products as fodder, herbal drinks, and perfumes that are the many uses of vetiver grass, as we have seen. Women empowerment can be achieved by engaging them through labor contracting society and introducing online banking for payment of wages. Economic growth will increase with an increase in our GDP. To flourish the scheme, small SME loans can be arranged as well. Research for the research and development, research should focus on climate, landscape, and also soil criteria, thematic map, long-term climatic and surface and groundwater database, etc. Actually, we need this support and to conduct research in this field actually for minimizing land degradation. Further research is also for better adaptation of engineered techniques for reducing soil erosion, phytoremediation of contaminated soil using vetiver, which needs to be piloted. And basically, for the successful implementation and the sustainable development goal achieving, we need collaboration. And this collaboration it needs in different levels, like multidisciplinary collaboration between agricultural scientists, engineers, and academicians. I want to emphasize on this actually. Actually, the research are being conducted in several, domain. For example, engineers and the agricultural scientists and academicians separately, but it should be collaborated and should be connected so that we can get the total benefit of the system. That's why I want to emphasize that multidisciplinary collaboration between agriculture, scientists, engineers, academicians, and government agencies in local and international level are needed. I would request CIRDAP. CIRDAP can play a huge role for promoting this kind of multidisciplinary, collaboration. And also to ensure the proper and large-scale adaptation applications, the involvement of the government organizations are necessary. And also we make, high-level lobbying for the use of vetiver grass. And also actually for the laws and policies for land conservation and sediment control, these are necessary for the local government authorities, for the central government authorities, and also for any institution who are violating the use of the soil, soil management, because soil is a non-renewable resources for the world. So actually my slogan is fighting against erosion, and this is the erosion of the soil, and this is the erosion of the humanity, and this is the erosion of the society. So in conclusion, actually for the last many years, this is my slogan that we should fight against erosion, and my students are motivated, many of my students, for this fighting with me against erosion. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Actually, I was not prepared very well today due to the long traveling actually. So even I apologize if it is not correctly mentioned. So, but if you have any question, you can ask me now or later through email and etc. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Shariful Islam. This is really great presentation, and it's very useful, comprehensive presentation by you. And I think that our participant, also the CIRDAP members, can make use of this miracle grass, I call it. This is very important for rural development. And I think that there will be many questions from our participants. We have about half an hour. So I'd like to ask Ms. Suren Janet to be the moderator on this Q&A, please.
Okay, sir. Now,
should I stop the share, madam?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your wonderful presentation. Now I
Thank you so much.
The question answer, or if you have any suggestion, opinion about today's presentation, you can ask directly to the presenter. We have 19 people on the floor, so I would like to request anyone. Our IRD expert, sir. Sir, do you like to?
Thank you. Thank you, madam, for giving me this opportunity. I'm thankful to Director General CIRDAP and Dr. Muhammad Shariful Islam, who made a very nice presentation about the control of soil erosion and then the technology of Vetiver Grass and its impact. And I really appreciate that he very elaborately explained the land degradation, soil erosion, and then the soil pollution, as well as the governance and policy issues for the development countries. My question to Dr. Shariful Islam Saab is that you really focused on the water erosion, but haven't touched upon the soil erosion through wind. So wind erosion is also a big challenge to the dry lands, and mostly when there are strong winds, the soils are eroded through the process of suspension, then sorting and surface creeping, and then depositions. So it's also a challenge to most of the African countries and most of the dry region. So my question is that, can we use Vetiver Grass for these areas? Because you mentioned that it is a water-loving crop, and probably in water condition, it grows well. So what about the dry lands? So this is my first question. The second question is, you mentioned that Vetiver Grass is planted along with the rice fields, which is also a water-loving crop. So experience about the competition for nutrients and water, and what about the dry land plantation for Vetiver Grass in dry areas? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I think these are very relevant and very important questions. There are two questions. First is related to the arid regions and wind erosion. You are right. I have showed many examples of the successful and unsuccessful, but these are not related to the, wind erosion. Fortunately, we had one piloting in Godagari, Rajshahi. It was maybe 10 years back. So there is a big pond. So in our barren tract region, we have this problem. The water level is very low. So during the winter, so the wind erosion causes, and also the water is very, water scarcity is a big problem in that region. So there is a big pond, so which used to become very turbid during the winter due to the wind erosion. So then we gave the solution. We just planted vetiver grass in the bank of the pond, and finally found that so it protects the wind erosion and also captures the soil, so that due to this wind erosion cannot go to the water, and the water becomes useful for the localities. So this is an example. And actually, as you mentioned, this can be planted in the arid regions also, because roots goes deeper for collecting the water. And in one photograph, I showed that in agricultural field, especially in the African countries, they use some rows of vetiver grass. And definitely there should be some competition because of the nutrient. So they made, the separate rows. In the African countries, as you know, in the arid regions, the big issue for the irrigation. So these grasses, as mentioned by our honorable director that this is a miracle grass. So it has a lot of benefit actually. What does it do? It takes the water from the deeper part and then it spreads the excess water, which is not need to eat. So then this indirect irrigation is being used for the for other crops. So this is indirect benefit. So it can be used in the agricultural land also for the crop production. And also, as I mentioned, in the Chinese farmers, they use, this vetiver grass row after 25 meter. So there is a row after 25 meter and 25 meter. So then what happens? So this rice borer, they love to eat the leaves of the vetiver grass. And then it makes them, kill themselves. This is a very biological process. I don't like to explain that. So there are a lot of uses actually. It can be used in arid regions and also in the African countries and also in the agricultural fields also. And definitely we need, more and more research actually to find out the solution exactly and the benefits and the disadvantages. So that's why we have to focus on this to combine the engineering and the agricultural field actually. So we have these gaps actually where CIRDAP and agencies can take role to promote these things.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Isra Khan, the IRD expert for the questions. I have some experience with vetiver grass during my term as the government officer in Thailand. I helped support the project in Cambodia, constructing the new fish ponds in school, in one school in Kampong Chertien of Cambodia. And it's a newly constructed pond. So I grow the vetiver grass along the dike of the ponds. The reason to do that is to allow the vetiver grass to grow and protect the erosion of the dike, as well as preventing the leakage of water out from the pond. So this seemed to be a practical way of doing, as I did many projects in rural communities of Thailand on community fish pond and a school fish pond program. There are some of 10,000 community fish pond in Thailand, as well as 30,000 school fish pond in Thailand, where we demonstrate the capacity of vetiver grass in soil erosion and soil cohesion. So these seem to be very practical in using these grasses for that. You have done a lot of works in Bangladesh. I can see that, and this is very important. I would like to collaborate with you, with CIRDAP, to carry out any action research or promoting of the use of the glass. And I wonder whether how you produce the grass shoots to support many areas in Bangladesh, because in Thailand, the Department of Land Development is the agency producing grass shoots. Many million of grass shoots are cultivated in the station in the country and distributed to farmers, to many projects in Thailand. So I wonder, Bangladesh, who is responsible for producing the grass shoots in order to supply all over area of Bangladesh? This is the question, please.
Yeah, thank you, Excellency, for your, very relevant question actually. So actually, this is a big issue and a challenging part of the vetiver grass application in Bangladesh. What actually in the practice now, when we design a project, so we engage local people to produce the vetiver grass and in the small nursery. But actually, this is not actually sustainable. So as you have mentioned, there should be some organization who will be the responsible for supplying this enormous need and necessity of this vetiver grass. So we are not yet sure. I mean, so this has to be explored. But recently, we are designing a project with LGED, Local Government Engineering Department, in hill test zone, where we are going to establish a model for the country from the vetiver nursery to the implementation. So that, so like this, if it is successful, then LGD will be, I mean, how to say, independent for producing the vetiver grass. After establishing this model in Chittagong, in Bandarban and Khagrachuri and also Rangamati. So we are now discussing with them, also designed the project. But even though, actually, as we have mentioned, there should be some agencies. I mean, it should be government agency who will be responsible for producing vetiver grass and also therefore supply. So I think in this issue, CIRDAP can help us also to negotiate with the government also and others to establish this supply chain. Because as you know, the demand is huge, because every day, every week, every month, I receive a lot of calls from the users, even the individuals, the farmers and the local people, how they can get the supply chain. So this chain should be established actually. So I am trying many ways.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Do you suggest Ministry of Agriculture or Ministry of Local Governments, Rural Development and Cooperatives? Which one do you think practical?
I think the biggest user will be, the largest user will be LGD, because they have more than 3,500 kilometers. But even for LGD, it will be difficult to maintain such agricultural things. So we need a dialogue actually with the local government and also with the agriculture ministry through some organization like you. We need this dialogue, and we need actually government level policy. I mean, who should be the responsible for this?
Okay, because rural, local government and rural development is our host organization of CIRDAP. However, we also collaborate with inter-ministry. So I will discuss with the secretary of the local government, rural development first, and then may contact the Ministry of Agriculture to find out how we're going to promote this producing of the vetiver grass, and in collaboration with BUET.
That will be.
Do you think that this is
that will be
good?
Sir, that will be great help actually. I'm fighting for this actually, so that will be great help for us, because as I'm very emotional in these things, because we need the supply chain, because now many people, many individuals, I am repeating, they have understood the benefit of using vetiver grass, but the problem is the supply is very low and it is not organized. It is not organized. So I'm repeating. So that will be great help for us for establishing this vetiver grass in Bangladesh.
The way to produce the grass shoots, do you have a simple way of doing it?
Yes.
Or you need yes, please. How do you do it? Multiply the number.
Over the last few years, we have done several researches, and also there are some international guidelines. And also at the moment, we are producing from the several experts from all over the world the standard guideline for vetiver grass production and the infrastructures. We call it vetiver standard. So we have some, very simple ways and the simple techniques for multiplying vetiver grass. So, but also we may need help from like Thailand, because they are very expert in this field, because they have more experience than us. So if some persons from even Thailand, they can cooperate us, that will be very useful.
Okay, thank you. I will contact the Land Development Department of Thailand. We have one expert in our database. She presented last year, Dr. Banchert Lak Jintarit, and she is looking after also this vetiver grass. So I will communicate with them and trying to bring them here to meet with you and to discuss further on technical cooperation also. So this one will be my early plan on that. When are you coming back from abroad?
Yes, this Thursday. this Thursday.
This Thursday. Okay. Okay. We'll be in touch with you. Okay.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much. Thank you very much. So I ask other people to discuss further the question and answer, please.
Still have 14 minutes. So 14 minutes around. So if anyone has any
Actually,
question,
I made the presentation short. Yeah.
no, if anyone have any opinions, questions from our side.
Madam, I have a point to make. This is IRD expert from Pakistan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Actually, I have observed that in Japan, similar grass, which is called wasabi, that is planted mostly on the river banks and in the streams. So I think they are using it for many ingredients, like they are making ice creams and other enterprises, like they could be used as a spices. So wasabi is also one of the grass which is being practiced in Japan. I think if CIRDAP can make coordination with JICA or some other institutions for getting seed and it's practicing in different countries, I think wasabi is also like a substitute of vetiver grass.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We still have
yeah, so may I make a request to
couple of yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, so to the Honorable Director. So actually, if joint seminar in person can be made with Agriculture Department and also the local government ministries and the other partners in CIRDAP with a very close, in environment. So that will be helpful, for the establishment of the nurseries and other things. But as you think, Excellency, that can be made actually.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm thinking about receiving your presentation also to be placed in our website. Is it okay?
Yes,
yeah. All right. So that we can disseminate this information to our member countries, and I think this is going to be something that highly important for CIRDAP in collaboration with BUET on promoting this vetiver grass, because it's multiple use and helpful for Bangladesh and other countries as well. And as advised by the IRD expert, we're trying to discuss with also JICA and the Vetiver Institute to see how can we bring expand the collaboration to maybe donor or to any research institute on this, so that we can make this important issue known and application in different country apart from Bangladesh as well. So I'd like to hear from Director of Research, Professor Hilal. Yes. Any comments, Professor Hilal? Yes.
Well, I'm amazed looking at how useful and beneficial this vetiver grass, and I might have some in my years in villages. And I don't know why I don't see widespread campaign for vetiver grass here. So in terms of the presentation, I will have a small suggestion, that is, if we can place, I don't know whether it is in the presentation, how much is the loss, economic value loss due to soil erosion in Bangladesh? So that's an important issue. So if we promote vetiver grass, it will have some livelihood impact, like as you mentioned, like SC and other development and activities focusing on grass cultivation. I think that's not the main benefit. Main benefit is like if we can stop erosion, and like if we can stop what do you call breaching of our dams in hard areas and in different parts of Bangladesh. So I know that being a professor of economics, it will be a huge loss if we calculate, measure from soil erosion. So if we can stop the erosion, and then indirectly we can say, well, huge, a huge amount of GDP that will lose. That should be the focus in terms of benefit, economic benefit. So might get somewhere. What is the if we want to link it with our sustainable development, because development is sustainable if we can sustain our natural resources, natural resource base. And that natural resource base, like soil, is the most important one for any country, and specifically for Bangladesh. So I think that focus will make even stronger your logic. And I would like to I would like to our government and also our government to focus on that Vetiver for stopping soil erosion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Halal. I think these are very important suggestions. And definitely I will carry out this economic analysis with the help of some economists like you, maybe. And as you mentioned, definitely in terms of quantity, if I can put it for the government, that will actually help to also the government to take decision for the vetiver grass use. And also, as you mentioned, of the SDG, I'm taking note, and definitely I will include in my research and presentation these things. Thank you very much for your valuable suggestions.
Thank you, sir. We still have 8 minutes. If you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, we have 18 people right now from Iran, also the Philippines. Professor Wangpopo, do you like to say something, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much. I came in late, so I missed quite the first part. I'm not a grass specialist. I'm more on the coast, but in my work, actually, in many countries, this grass was mentioned many times. You know, as a way to stop land erosion, degradation. But what over the years, I think one of the speakers has also mentioned that vetiver grass has not been that widely introduced or practiced by the rural communities, you see. I mean, it's a tropical grass, and if you look around in Southeast Asia, there are areas of erosion because of deforestation. There are areas that you have to clean up because of mining, you know, or many things. But you find that this grass has not been sort of introduced by what I call government departments or local communities. I've been to many countries, but this is not used at all, you see. I don't think, because I'm not a specialist on this grass, I don't think I've seen it even on the what I call coastal areas or coastal dunes. I've seen other kind of grass, you see. So this is what I can say. So I hope, as Dr. Varapat say, you know, there should be more what I call collaboration, you know, between CIRDAP and the organization involved in this in Bangladesh. And I hope in future we can actually, CIRDAP can, you know, work out more programs, you know, even at the local level or at regional or even at national levels, to make sure that this grass, you know, is used not just to control erosion. And from what the speaker has said, there are many benefits. And this is the first time I learned that there are so many benefits, even the taking away of these toxic minerals and things like that. And so the idea that it taps into deep-seated water, and this is something very interesting, because in dry areas, water is very deep-seated, so you can pull up the deep-seated areas, So if the grass is available, I think I take some, hope to get some and grow in my garden and try some other things. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Wang Popo. When you mentioned about this, I'm immediately think about mangrove also, because we have to push this forward as well, because on land we have vetiver grass. In the coastal area we have mangrove, which we behave in a similar fashion, and we should promote this also. You have any comments on that? Yes.
As I've said, I have planting mangrove planting proposal which won a prize. To this day, I don't think it has been operationalized. I'm waiting for people, organization or anybody to operationalize in this kind of thing, you see. And the proposal is still available for me. It's a sort of a not planting single mangrove seedling, but multiple, whether in 2 or in trees, which can be sort of mobilized very fast. So it's a faster way of planting, So that's the whole idea. And also the various species. I've been looking at the various species. And in fact, I do go around Southeast Asia collecting Avicenna marina. That's probably the best species. You can grow on your mud, your sand, and even on coral gravels, on coral reefs itself. I've seen it.
Professor Popo, that may be a good news. I know that somebody is nominating my name to be board of director of the coral reef triangle. If I can be elected on that, I will be able to help support the mangrove plantation.
Thank you.
Yes,
excellent.
All
excellent.
Right. Okay, thank you very much.
One else, we still have 2 minutes. So this is the last 2 minutes we have. So what about our participants? One of our flagship training participant is here. Would you like to say something? Miss Mayday, are you there? I think she's not here. Okay. Anyone else? No. So actually, it's not a very technical presentation. I was glad to hear that, because I'm a non-technical person, so it's a very easy to understand me. If it were a technical one, I would be puzzled, because I'm a social scientist, social science background, so that's why. So, okay. Sir, I have a quick question.
Social science is also technical things.
Huh.
So, but actually,
Yes.
I actually didn't go any technical details today, because I thought that it would be for generally.
Yes.
All the people. And really, again, I take this opportunity to apologize. Actually, I'm traveling a lot, and also for the last few days, I'm suffering from very high fever. So that's actually, I was not prepared at all. So I hope that maybe I could convey some message, but please make sure that the people are in contact with me, so that I can make answers to them later.
Okay, sir. Sir, you can enrich this presentation and send it back to us.
Yes, give me some time, allow me. After I come back to my country, then I will make it, and then definitely I'll send to you.
Okay. Now this is end of our webinar. It's 12:30 in Bangladesh. So thank you so much for joining with us, and thank you so much, sir, for give a wonderful presentation, and thank you, our IRD experts, sir. Thank you, Wang Popo, sir. Thank you, Dr. Jatsek Virapat, and also our Director Research, Hilal, sir, to make opinion and suggestion. We will collaborate again. So thank you, sir. Bye and take care. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a speedy recovery, Professor. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and happy for the coming festive, New Year festive. Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Have a nice day.